This has been on a long time, and I gotta open it up to see the water leak.
It looks okay.
Looks are always deceiving.
Suck if there's nothing wrong with it. Does it look okay?
Yeah, but it's behind there that I want to see.
Oh God.
But I can take that out. But that piece there.
You gotta take all that off too?
Just a separate one. Here at the door where we cut it. I don't see any screws in here, so it looks like it might be nailed on. This one, this piece I put in, same with all that way, right? But this piece I've screwed in, so I can easily. Oh yeah, that's right, you're gonna go all the way to the bottom, aren't you? Oh.
Oh, you're gonna take that off too?
Let's get this out. I'm gonna have to get to the screws down there.
Oh my God.
So anyway, the gap is small at the bottom, right? And it's big at the top. And then it looks like, it's weird because it looks like the gap up there, the door is tighter this way, and it's also tight up that way. But yet at the bottom, you can see the door hangs lower than the other door. And it's destroying my aluminum. It's all scraping on the bottom of the door. So I don't know, maybe this is settling or something. Maybe this section of the wall is coming down, twisting, it's all putting pressure on everything and it's warping my door, because even the gap here, the gap there is wider than, like, the door touching up there. And I gotta get a different pry bar for that. And of course that goes all the way up
That's
there.
probably why you never took it off.
Well, no, it's because I didn't have to.
So, what are you trying to get to? What are you looking for?
Water damage. I'll be able to get this one off. Just they're stapled. This is the original siding on the house, right? It's all stapled to the 2x4s. So when I cut the side, the original plywood, you can see where I set my saw and I cut it into the 2x4 here, right? So that I can replace all that wall. But I should be able to get this piece off because it splits here, but it's all stapled, right? and I need a real pry bar for that. This one here, it never got cut at the top. You see what I mean? It never got cut, so unless I cut that, I won't be able to remove this. The 2x10s that were down there, that were, I had to chew out and stuff, and I don't know, maybe the weight of this section of the house is crushing what wood was left in there. I might have to pull this door. I might have to pull the whole door and then restructure this and get this all back to square again and everything. You know, but that's why I kind of wanted to open this and get this off here, because now I can get to this jamb that the door's attached to, and I can mess with it. You know, like I don't even know if the door's bowing this way or not, right? I have to get a level and I just have to put a level on everything, but you can just tell by you can see the left door is lower than the right door, right? So that means the door will be going like this, but it's weird because if the door is going like this, then that top should be tighter, right? And the top is tight over here. It should be open more there because the door is going this way, right? It's just simple geometry, right? When it does this, for that to go low, then it should be tight there and it should be further away up here. But the problem is if this is at a plumb now, because there's something going on here inside, right? If this is sinking, it's gonna kink the door, right? I gotta get my level that's downstairs and put my level on this frame, right?
Yeah, but don't you have a light beam?
No.
Oh. Really?
But I can sit there and, you know what I mean? Because like maybe this post is messing up. Maybe it's, you know what I mean? Just here, all the splits in the big beams. I can caulk all that in like these. You know what I mean? So it'll look more uniform. I mean, there's some bad splits, like this one here is really bad. See all here? See how the splits are? They're huge splits, right? But at least I can fill this with caulking. You know what I mean? And it'll just, you know, I mean, all this roughness, all this grain is still going to be there. That's not going to disappear. It'll just make it more uniform, because I am planning downstairs all the post and beam that's holding up the deck on the outside here. It's all just wood. And now I want to sand it all down, prime it, and paint it all white. This door, I'm going to prime the door and I'm going to paint the door black, the same as that black, because black and wood looks really good. Finally, after 15 years, I'm finally putting my Rinnai in. Yep, yard work is never done. Had to take a lot of this lilac down, a lot of it was dead. And this whole corner shrub scenario, it's all eventually coming out. I don't know if it'll be this year or next year, because as you can tell on the front of the house, I already put a ledger on the bottom for the deck and then a ledger up top for a roof. So I'm going to do something like a six foot deck with a 8-foot roof, just to keep the sun off the front of the house and actually use my front entry for the first time in like 17 years. But anyway, so just doing some yard work. Well, let's give this thing a shot. I'm borrowing it from my brother instead of setting up my big gun, but let's try it. Well, that's enough of that crap. E-Tool Lab 0. You'll see what I mean when I go to spray the top coat. I'm gonna use my machine for that, not this piece of crap. I could have literally done 6 doors by the time I just did this one. Yeah, so if you don't prime these trims, so that'll be these trims around the glass, or even this is an aluminum strip. You just give it a light sand and prime it with that gripper. And this paint will never peel. This will last 15 years easy, just like on the outside of a house. So anyway, if you don't prime that plastic, that stuff's gonna peel 100%. Paint doesn't stick to that. And you don't need an oil paint, you just need a really good acrylic latex, or you don't need an oil paint to make that work. Latex is just fine, or acrylic is just fine. It'll stick to that like nothing, especially if it's a proper primer like gripper. Well guys, taking a break. That sprayer I borrowed off my brother. I don't know, I think he said he paid like 35 bucks for it. Honestly, you couldn't give those things away. It could be what I'm spraying. I'm using a product called Gripper. It's through Dulux. That's the kind of paints I use at work. So it's actually quite thick, and it's actually an amazing product. It literally sticks to anything glass. Good luck getting it off. I mean, you can, but it's not easy. But exterior doors, if it has any kind of windows or glass in it or anything like that, the trim that goes around it is usually made out of plastic. And 99.9% of most paints do not stick to plastic, plain and simple. So you have to prime that. If you don't prime it, it peels. And you can see that. As you can see, I brought my big machine up. So this is my professional Graco. It's either a 490 or 495. I can't really remember. Yeah, had this machine like 23 years. You know, that's why you pay the big money. So nowadays, I don't know, it's like an $1,800 machine, $2,000 machine or more. So yeah, I mean, you pay for a good machine and you treat it right, it'll treat you right. But yeah, that's a professional sprayer, and I have to sand this now because the texture that thing left is just ridiculous. You're never gonna see it on the phone. There's no way. Well, you might be able to see it a little bit there. You can kind of see all the little dots. I mean, they're not horrible, but it's not smooth, right? So I gotta give this a quick sand, and when it dries up here after my break, it's like 31 degrees out today. So yeah, it's dry to the touch after like 30 seconds. Plus that thing blows so much air, it kind of dries it as you go. It's pretty ridiculous. So anyway, I'll video that when it's all set up. Oh, and I did finish the deck. I guess I really haven't talked about that, right? So there's the outside of the deck. So all that, you know, was all wood, had to be sanded, primed, caulked, and then filled with a special plaster to get rid of some of the major splits because it was wood. Replaced all the bottom there and everything like that. Got all my screens in, trimmed my screens out on this end, but the other 4 were already screened. I already had the trim pieces in, but it's all painted, and I'm gonna end up doing the lower part here as well, but I'm gonna wait till I replace the flooring. The flooring here is gonna get tiled. And then I got all my screening up in that back triangle. And then of course, up here. So I had to build a special frame for that so it would look good. The back wall, I didn't build frames. So I was just able to deal with it because of the way the siding was on the outside. And then while I had all my stages up and everything, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you know, I ended up fixing all the white on there, and I had to put in all these strips because my screens would blow out occasionally when we get big winds here. So I got a 3-footer in front of every one of them, and then up at the top I've got a nice little piece, and then that way they won't blow out. And yes, you can still remove the screens. But you know, this big deck project, I'm not going to do the back wall, finish it off, or finish painting all this in exactly like the house, so it'll all be colored like the house. I'm not going to do that till I do the floors, because I have to remove all that, the bottom wood, because the floor will be getting raised. So it's all going to come off, most of it anyway. But I'll let you know, and I'll videotape me after I sand this thing. Spraying it, you're going to laugh, because it literally will take me like 30 seconds, and that'll be painted first coat. Okay, you ready for this?
Top of your hinge. And under the bottom of them. The other side too, on the left. Bottom left. Yeah. Sorry.
It'll get hit one more time.
Okay. Makes sense.
And that's that. We'll give it about an hour and spray it again. Done.
Yes, I said, well, I'll change my clothes over there and leave for a day or two. And I'll be back. She said, you just came from, you just came back. Which is really good to do. Take it new and try to, enjoy not being alone. Have the
the damn birds away from our blueberries. Hope this works. Sailing. Oh,
Exactly why I don't live here anymore.
look at that.
Exactly why I don't live here anymore.
Cabrino.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, all the ones down there.
Better not wreck my goddamn garden, man. I'm so pissed. Philippines doesn't have to deal with this in June, if you can believe it.
Our poor plants. Had to bring them all in here. That's crazy.
Those are some big raindrops too, man. Really on the roof.
Oh,
There you go. For our friends Matt and April in Bohol in the Philippines. That's something you're not going to see at your place ever. This is one of the reasons why I want to move. I want to get out of here because I'm done with this. You know, it almost destroyed about $200 worth of flowers that we ended up buying. And it's still coming down. There's like an inch, probably a good inch of ice on the deck. And it's freaking like, what, the 6th of June or something like that? It's ridiculous. I haven't even opened my pool yet. So what I'm going to do, open my pool for 2 months? It's ridiculous.
take the blankets off, the swing.